everyone, and welcome to the Tabia Pope Show. Thank you so much. I am your host, Tabia Pope. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for subscribing to the Tabia Pope Show YouTube channel. And if you're new to the show, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel now. The Tabia Pope Show is an image management talk show focused on enhancing men's and women's communication skills, image, and lifestyle. I go behind successful personal brands and I ask them to give their words of wisdom, career strategies to those that are in their area of expertise, as well as featuring their consumer reviews and their portfolios as well. So if you would like to be on the show, if you're an image professional, you can email me, media@tabiapopeshow.com, or you can also follow the show at Tabia Pope Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And after the show, you can also hashtag image management talk show and hashtag preserve your pretty, so you can talk to @Dr. Myla on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. On today's show, I'm going behind the brand of Dr. Myla Bennett. We're talking about extreme transformations. Besides being a most sought after plastic surgeon and medical spa owner, she's also a speaker, a beauty preservation strategist, and a business mogul. She's the founder of PreserveYourPretty.com, and she also specializes in aesthetic surgery of the face and body, as well as non-surgical treatments. So thank you so much, Dr. Myla Bennett, for coming on the Tabia Pope Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited and honored to be chosen.
Well, thank you. And I went on Ederra.com. I got that right?
Ederra.
Ederra Bella. You know what? It's like you said, it's going to be a household name. Okay, I'm going to get it right. And it's such a unique name. I want you to talk about the meaning behind the name as well. But I went on your website and you talked about how you deliver aesthetic enhancements that emphasize your patient's natural beauty while concealing their undesirable aesthetic imperfections. I love that. Tell us about that.
So I really love to help people feel their most beautiful, and I want to do it in a way that is natural and native to them. So, I really go by, I kind of work under the mantra of you don't have to be natural, but you should look natural. People should appear untouched, even if they have been. And so I just really try to enhance what they naturally already have. Instead of making it look like somebody else, that's no fun.
Yeah, and I love that natural beauty, emphasizing natural beauty. And, when people think of plastic surgery, I think they think of, that it's not natural, and then people that you'll come out of the plastic surgery not looking natural in your natural self. So I love that approach to plastic surgery.
That's bad plastic surgery when people come out looking like somebody else, and those are that's really the outliers, but those are the people that are highlighted, when it goes bad, when it's botched. And a lot of times, those people who look like monsters or look like a completely different person, many times it's at the hand of a person who isn't really a trained plastic surgeon. It's someone who's trying to practice plastic surgery and they don't know anything about the principles.
Well, before we get into plastic surgery, and we're going to talk about all your treatments that you offer as well, I want to talk about a little bit about your personal brand. I am an image consultant, and I want to ask you, when you were a medical student at The Ohio State University Medical Center, what part of your brand, was it your image communication skills or your authentic personal brand? What area of image did you struggle with, and how did you overcome that?
Medical school, that was a really interesting time because, I was in my 20s, and people are finding themselves, period, in their 20s, whether you're in medical school or working at the gas station. Like, your 20s are a time when you're really discovering who you are. And then I was in a very high pressure situation that was predominantly, white male dominated. And so a lot of the things that made me who I were things that I needed to downplay in order to fit. So I wasn't, I don't even think I was thinking about my personal brand at all at that point. I was really just trying to make it, and so over time, probably when I was into my 30s, like toward the end of my early and into my mid 30s, I started to think about me and what I liked. And I started to not feel like I needed to downplay the real me.
Yes, your God-given talents, right?
Yeah. It took time for me to get comfortable doing that. And I really just got to a place since I moved to Atlanta, which just happened. It'll be a year on June 1st. I really just got into a place where I'm completely comfortable with who I am, and I don't worry about what other people think of me, and I do things the way I want to do it. But I'm 38 now. It took literally that long for me to get comfortable in being exactly who I am.
Is there any advice you would give a medical student now that is looking into getting a fellowship, obtaining employment? What advice would you give them on enhancing and managing their image?
It's kind of tricky because in many ways I say be yourself, but in the real world, sometimes you have to fit in somewhat in order to be accepted to get to where you want to be. So now I'm a business owner and no one else is cutting my check for me. So I'm able to be 100% authentic without worry of a lot of backlash. So you don't want to be reckless in being yourself if it's a certain environment you need to be able to fit into to get where you need to be. And I don't mean to be fake, but you don't have to be flamboyant if it's not appropriate.
Right.
So it's kind of, it's really not a cut and dry answer because it's definitely a finesse to it, but.
And what's your number one personal branding tip? You have the beautiful logo and the background of your plastic surgery and medical spa. What was that process? I mean, you're working with a PR agency. What's your process and your number one tip for personal branding?
I think the most important thing is for you to understand when you're branding, you need to know who you're targeting before you start a branding process. So for me, it was easy because my target audience is me. So my target audience is women in their late 30s, early 40s, who are in the beauty industry, who are concerned with keeping themselves their most beautiful for as long as they can because it's a part of their career, and they love fabulous things. So that's me. So it wasn't hard for me to put together a brand that was magnetic to people who are interested in that stuff because that person was me. So, but I think when you're branding, in my mind, the difference between marketing and branding is marketing is when you go out and grab people and pull them into your business, to your vortex, to whatever. Branding is when you stand in one place and those people flock to you. You're like a magnet. So the only way to be magnetic is if you are appealing to a specific audience. And I think where people mess up is when they try to be appealing to the masses and then you're just lukewarm to everybody and you don't grab anybody. So I think the reason why I was able to make such a big impact in such a short period of time is because I can close my eyes and see my ideal client in my head. I can sit here and tell you what she's wearing, what her job is. She's had children.
How to reach her.
Right. I can picture her. I can see her. And so that made it easy for me to do things that are magnetic to her. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up. They're trying to be too vanilla, to appeal to too many different people. Now, with that being said, just because that's your ideal client doesn't mean that you won't attract other people, because my ideal client is a woman in her late 30s, early 40s. But I still have men. I have people who are 60. I have people who are 20. I have all kind of people, but who I try to target are women like me.
And I think that's excellent advice, is to make sure that you have a stable brand in one area. I think that is the number one biggest mistake that a new brand can do, is to try to, like you said, be everywhere and not understand that audience. And, you need to tap into what's available in front of you. There's people that need your services that you talk to every day. So if that audience is right in front of you, then you need to tap into that. What does your neighborhood, where you go, it could be your church, right? It could be your church family, but what is that audience need, and what is the need? Because once you know how to solve the problem and solve their needs, that's when you become very viable, right?
To ask for it to their pain.
Exactly. So don't build a brand that doesn't have a solution. Yes. So
also, another big mistake people have is they aren't consumers of what they sell. So you have one of the things that's really popular right now is people in coaching, right? Everyone's coaching. I'm a coach. I'm this kind of coach. I'm that kind of coach. Right. And then they don't even have a coach. So how are you going to coach me and nobody's coaching you? Like, you don't even think it's important enough for you to get it, but you think I should buy it from you? I get more business from my own skin and my own appearance than anything else.
And you're a walking billboard, right?
You're a walking billboard. I have posts on Facebook of me getting the services because I genuinely get the services, and people are always like, well, oh, your skin's just good like that. No, it's not. I work at my skin looking like this. Like, it's not, it didn't just happen, you know? And so when people see that you believe in when you believe in it, what it is that you're selling, then you're not selling it. You're just living, and then they just want to join in. Yeah, you don't want to be pitchy, and you don't want to be, every time someone comes around, you're trying to sell them something and push them. You know, just, you should be, whatever it is that you're selling, you should be a consumer of it.
And I love that. So let's switch on over to your plastic surgery and medical spa. Tell me, I know you just had a recent opening. Tell me about your opening and your business as well.
So my business is called Ederra Plastic Surgery and Medical Spa. And it's really, you know, it's my baby. I mean, I treat this place like, sometimes I feel like I treat this place better than I treat my children. But it's my baby. You know, it took me 19 years to get to this place to be able to open up this office and work and practice plastic surgery the way I want to practice it, not on someone else's terms. If I say I want this, I can just implement it immediately. I don't have to wait for all these boards to meet and approve and all this business. And so I've been able to practice the way I want to practice with the ideals that I believe in without the pressure of doing things to make a dollar because somebody told me I got to hit this number or whatever. I've been able to practice with meaning. And the name Ederra, my business coach, I have a coach. My business coach actually helped me to come up with it. And initially I was going to name the place Bella Plastic Surgery because Bella means pretty or beauty. And someone else had a name similar. So then I went and looked up other words that meant pretty and beautiful. And Ederra was the prettiest word of the list that I saw. And so then I was going to name it Ederra Plastic Surgery. And my coach, she's like, why don't you name it Ederra Bella? Because you're always talking about inner and outer beauty, and then both words mean beauty, so it works. I'm like, oh my God, it was perfect. And I genuinely practice that way. Like, I want my ladies, when they leave, to feel good and look good. I think everyone stands taller when they're confident in their appearance. When you go and get your hair done, you might walk in there with a cap on and your head down, and when they finish slaying your hair, you turn around that mirror and you like, you know, and you walk out standing taller, right?
Yes, you go through your own personal transformation. Yes. I mean, I recently went through my own personal transformation. I'm a doctoral student. Took a week straight for me to write a final. I was looking crazy. I mean, I didn't even recognize my own self. I was like, baby, I said to my husband, I don't even want you to be here right now. I don't even want you. If we were dating, you would not be here right now. You know, like, that's how toe up I felt, you know. But when I went to the hairstylist, girl, my hairstylist whipped my hair up. I said, well, thank you. Thank you for making me feel good.
Right. It's the truth. And so you have something that bothers you. As long as it's healthy, as long as you're in a physical healthy space and a mental healthy space, and what you're asking is realistic, it's nothing wrong with it. You know, and I think people put this negative connotation with trying to do things to make yourself feel good about how you look. And as long as you're mentally and physically healthy, there's nothing wrong with it. I apologize for the phone ringing.
It's okay. That means you got clients, you got patients, honey.
One of these girls comes over here and answers the phone, but I don't know how to do it. But as long as you're in a healthy space physically and mentally, it's nothing wrong with maintenance, you know, and feeling good about how you look. So I really enjoy helping women feel restored after they have children or after they lose a lot of weight, or help them get themselves back. Like, it makes my heart sing to do that. And I really feel like so blessed to be able to get paid to do something that I just have fun.
And I was going to ask, I'm happy you brought that up. I was going to ask you about your expertise extends into body contouring, breast surgery, tummy tucks, and liposuction. Can you just talk about a little bit about the cutting edge products and treatments and surgical procedures to prevent and slow down and even reverse the signs of aging?
So many of the things with the body, most of the things, well, many of the, there's a lot more non-surgical things for the body than there were 10 years ago. But a lot of the things that are going to have a really profound effect on your physical body are surgical. So it always, all the things like these different technologies like cool sculpting, which is fat freezing, it's like liposuction without the liposuction. It's going to give you a decent result, but nothing like if you got liposuction. There's still, the surgical procedure is still like the gold standard. But when it comes to the face, I feel differently. I feel like with the face, I do a lot more non-surgical stuff to the face than I do with a knife. Mm-hmm. I try to do as much as I can to help people just keep what they have that's good. The biggest thing that I see that I wish I could stop is people showing up to me after everything bad has already happened to their face. And then they're like, I want you to help me look like myself again. I'm like, dang, I wish you'd have came here 10 years ago because I could have kept. Sometimes people come and it's just too late and I have to do surgery. But if I get people when they're younger and it's just little problems, a lot of things I can make better without surgery when it comes to the face.
And you would think that yeah, and I'm happy you said that because to start early, like if there are things that you can do to prevent aging while you're young, right? About like with your 30s or 40s, when would you recommend to start?
Well, I think people should, like, you know, my kids, I put sunscreen on them now. Like, okay, so one of the biggest things that you can do, which sounds, people really don't believe me when I say it, but one of the biggest things you can do when you're really young is just wear sunscreen. Mm-hmm. Many of the things that ages us outside of our DNA is all related to the sun. And African Americans are notorious for not wearing sunscreen. We're taught when we grow up, black don't crack and you don't need to do that and all this other business, which is nonsense. No, we don't wrinkle, but our skin still sags. It's still, I call it sagging and staining. So people will get darker and darker and darker as we get older, have uneven complexion as we get older, and that's all from neglect. So people will walk around with pride and say they don't do anything. All I use is whatever. It's like, since this is something that I do for a living, I'm like, you know, it looks like that's all you do. Mm-hmm. You have to work at it to make it be great. There's a few people who just naturally have great everything, but that's not the norm. You know, the bulk of us need to be putting on sunscreen, using products that is going to help induce collagen growth and help keep our complexion even and stuff like that. So products is really where you start if you start early, and it'll keep you from needing all the aggressive stuff later.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel about eye cream? I know people have dark circles. Like I have dark circles under my eyes, and it's hereditary. I get it from my father. Mm-hmm. But you know, some people have bags under their eyes, like the dark circles. What do you recommend? Do you recommend any products for that, or any treatments for that? There's
both. There's products and treatments for that. And depending on the source of the bags, sometimes people have bags because of allergies. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people have bags. Somebody just walked in. I'm sorry. Sometimes people have bags because of pigment changes underneath the skin. So if it's a pigment thing, you can use eye creams, or there's lasers that can help with it. If it's because the muscles all stretched out, that the little eye muscle, then you got to get surgery. So it really is a lot of things you can do, and it really is based person by person. Looking at you, I don't see bags that stick out, so you probably could be fixed with an eye cream.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Myla. Well, and I also went on your blog, preserveyourpretty.com. It's an excellent blog. I just want to give you kudos for that. Tell us a little bit about your blog and how did you come up with the concept?
Preserve Your Pretty, I said when I was in the room with one of my patients, it's been about a year now, and I said, you need to preserve your pretty. It just kind of fell out of my mouth, and when I said it, I was like, that's a good one. And then I didn't say it anymore until I went through the steps to get it trademarked. And my registration for my trademark actually just came in 2 days ago.
Wow.
So I'm official. It's a little R.
Official.
My Preserve Your Pretty logo now. But it was really just how I was practicing, but I didn't realize that that's how I was practicing until I said it. But I've always just been about prevention. Keep it good, and then you don't have to do all these really expensive, aggressive things that run the risk of making you look like somebody else if you just keep your good stuff good.
I love that. Prevention, preserve, right? Beauty preservation. I love that. Preserve the natural beauty that you have. But it's also, what would you, for a woman that is like, well, I don't want a plastic surgery, or they, you know, they are kind of timid with that procedure. How do you get them over the hump to realize that that's something that could enhance their beauty instead of, you know, making them look not natural?
I don't try to convince people to get plastic surgery. So if somebody is conflicted, then I teach them, and then I let them chew on it and come back when they're ready. Because you don't ever want to try to convince somebody to do something like that. So with my Instagram page, for my business page and my personal page, I really try to just show people examples of where people start and how they can get there. So that sometimes people will identify with something that they saw, and then they're like, oh, well, maybe I can do that. Maybe it's not so bad. You know, I try to teach through my social media about different things. I also Periscope sometimes in order to help teach people and let them ask you questions so that they see it's not so scary, as long as you're doing it in a safe way.
Mm-hmm. And do you do this? I also saw that you do parties as well. Yes, can you talk about a little bit about the parties that you do?
Preserve Your Pretty Party is an opportunity for a group of ladies who know each other to get together. So it's a small group, like 8 to 10 people. And the whole idea is to create an environment where they are comfortable and they can ask me questions, and I talk to them about my ideals about anti-aging and prevention. And usually I'll feature a service that I will have a discount for that day. And then, you know, so a group of ladies can get, it's almost like a Mary Kay party or something, only with some of the medical spa services that I offer.
I love that. I love that. So let's talk about, I heard about vampire breast lift. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about, give more insight into this, this non-surgical treatment.
So vampire breast lift is, I'm sorry.
You have a busy practice. This is good though.
Vampire breast lift is we draw the person's blood, and then we process the blood and take the platelet-rich plasma out. So the platelets have little growth factors inside of them, and so when they're activated, the growth factors come out, and it helps. And it's also like a little stem cells in it. And so basically, what happens when you inject it into a particular area, it causes growth of the tissue around it. So we can inject it into a person's breast, and it will make their breast a little bit fuller. It's not going to be the same result as if you did breast augmentation with an implant, but it will give you a little bit of a fuller appearing bosom.
So this is an alternative to surgery.
Yes. Yes, it's an alternative to surgery. But it's, you know, it's for somebody who's just opposed and just wants a really modest improvement, it's a good service.
Yeah. Vampire breast lift. That's interesting. And I also heard about hydrofacials. I think that you also, from your social media, you have clients like Cynthia Bailey, Kenya Moore, Marlo Hampton, and others have gone through this hydrofacial. What is this hydrofacial?
Oh my gosh, hydrofacials are so fabulous. Every woman with a face should get hydrofacials.
I'm going to take you on that. I'm taking you on that.
Hydrofacials. So basically what it is a treatment that exfoliates your skin. It gets all those dead skin cells off the surface. It pulls all the dirt and bacteria out of your pores. And then it infuses peptides and nutrients and good things back into your skin and keeps your skin cells nice and plump and hydrated. So it's like, if you've ever heard of microdermabrasion, it has the same qualities as a microdermabrasion, plus the added benefit of adding hydration and nutrition into your skin cells after the service is over. It's a wonderful service.
Wow. And do you also offer any other services
in my medical spa
that we haven't talked about?
Absolutely. So we do hydrofacials, we do microneedling, which is really small needles that basically aerate your skin, and it causes your body to lay down more collagen in your skin so that your skin stays youthful. We do radio frequency treatments, which is another collagen producing service. Many of the services are centered around collagen production and keeping your complexion even. And then we also do facials that are specific to anti-aging, to acne, to hyperpigmentation.
Do you have any men specific treatments?
The men can get all that stuff. So the men that I see, the majority of the men that I see come for hydrofacials, and they are on a skincare regimen. That's what men get the most in my office.
All right. Well, that sounds excellent. I'm gonna have to take a trip to Atlanta. And where exactly is your office? It's in Metro Atlanta or
no, North? It's called Johns Creek. It's near Alpharetta. But it's in Johns Creek. It's in Johns Creek, Georgia, and it takes about 40 minutes to get downtown from here.
Well, I think that is excellent. Thank you so much. And I know that is, just in time for Mother's Day, you have a contest going on. Tell my audience how they can access the contest and what they need to do to get their Mother's Day gift basket. So the Mother's Day gift basket has a value of $1,000. There's a skin consultation included in that, which valued at $150. There's Dysport in there, which is like Botox, and Restylane, which is a filler to help fill in like the lines here or little bags under your eyes. There's products in there. There's a Preserve Your Pretty shirt in there. Just a bunch of good stuff for the ladies, for the mom. What do they have to do to get enter into the contest? To the contest, go to my website, www.ederrabella.com. And you can enter the competition there, and all you have to do is post a picture of your mom and tell us why your mother is so fabulous and why she should win this basket. Excellent. All right, so before we wrap up, tell my audience how they can reach you. And I mean, I'm sure you'll be back on the show in the fall when we have our season premiere of season 3, but tell us how they can contact you. So you can contact me contact the office by phone. Area code 678-325-0006. Also, you can reach out to us via the website, www.ederrabella.com. And then I have Facebook and Instagram accounts for Ederra Bella as well as Dr. Myla. Excellent, excellent. And we're going to continue this conversation on social media. So you can follow at Tabia Pope Show and at Dr. Myla. And use the hashtag Image Management Talk and hashtag Preserve Your Pretty. It's what did you say? It's trademarked. Trademark. It's a registered trademark now. Yay! That's excellent. Well, I wish you all the best luck with your practice. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'll see you in the fall. Thank you so much. Have a great one. You too. Have a good one. Bye.